One of the most popular books last year was The Algebra of Wealth by Scott Galloway.
Today we discuss the Algebra of Wealth. We attempt to answer one key question: how to get rich.
And while I was reading it, I couldn't stop thinking how you could apply a lot of the stuff in this book to weight loss. Stick around to see how. Greetings and welcome to or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness. And did you know that up to 80% of people who lose weight end up regaining it all, usually within just a year? That is a sobering statistic, and it highlights the real struggle when it comes to weight loss. If you've ever felt frustrated from yo-yo dieting or unrealistic workout routines, you are not alone. But guess what? It doesn't have to be that way, because in today's video, we are going to take a fresh approach to weight loss. We're going to take some of the same ideologies that apply to long-term finance growth and apply them to weight loss. And I'm going to give you some tips and tidbits and things that I used on my journey to lose half my body weight, around 160 pounds. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to cap all of this off with just some really great quotes and tips that are in here that I wish I had read years ago. And for every principle outlined below, I'm going to give you actionable tips. You can just check out the chapters in the description down below if you want to jump around, but as always, I highly recommend you watch this video straight through the first time. Now, before we dive into what I'd like to call the algebra of weight loss, I'd like to say hello to some of you who have said hello to us in the comments down below. Nikki, who is about to move to Kansas City, Missouri, and is looking for some new whole food plant-based friends. So if you're in Missouri, specifically Kansas City, maybe say hello down below and find Nikki. Sarah from Brighton, Michigan. Joy from Seattle-ish. She says she's from Maryville, Washington, so probably putting a video of Seattle here. Renee from Vermont. Rowana from Seattle, Washington. Diana from Wisconsin, Lanelle from Gatineau, Quebec, Julie from the United Kingdom, Joanna from upstate New York, Carla from Colorado, Kari from Roseville, California, Leanne from South Africa, and Susan from, you didn't say where you're from, but I know where you're from on the internet, and that is you are a new member of our Mighty Network. What is our Mighty Network? Well, you get advanced viewings of these videos, you get a bump up on our shoutout list, which you can get onto just by saying hello in the comments down below, letting us know who you are, where you're watching from. Essentially, our Mighty Network is like PB with J 2.0. So if you want a community of like-minded individuals who are supporting you through your own weight loss, that's a good place to start. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on and the benefits of that. Speaking of which, let's get to principle one. Let's start with the idea that time is the most powerful variable in our weight loss journey. Think of it like compound interest when it comes to finance. Small efforts today result in massive gains down the road. If you lose just half a pound to a pound a week, that might not seem like much, but over the course of an entire year, that's 26 to 52 pounds, which for most of you is probably all you need on your weight loss journey. When I was at the beginning of my own weight loss journey, I aimed to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, which I consistently did, and I was losing 8 to 10 pounds a month. And that is how I ended up losing my 160 pounds over the course of a year and a half. The key here is really just consistency. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in just one day. Instead, what you just want to do is focus on simple, healthy habits. Things like swapping out your soda for water, walking 20 minutes every single morning or during your lunch hour or after dinner, cutting 300 excess calories every day, which is not that hard to do when you think about it, because a lot of the food we have that's processed is really high in calories. Things like a tablespoon of oil is 100 calories. If you do that alone, within 10 days you will lose a pound. And over time, these modest changes add up in a big way. Start now. There's an old saying when it comes to finance and growing trees, which is the best time to invest or plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. The exact same thing comes with weight loss. Don't wait for Monday or the beginning of next month or New Year's of next year. Start now, start today. Start with your next meal, start with your next opportunity to do some form of movement. If you can skip that extra slice of pizza at dinner and have some vegetables or a salad to fill that out, do that. The sooner you begin, the more benefits you gain from the compounding interest of good habits. Patience over perfection. If you've ever invested money or if you have a retirement savings plan, you know what it likes to look at that graph. From day to day and week to week, there are ups and downs. It's probably not all that impressive to look at when you just look at it that way, but zoom out and look at it over the course of months and years. In finance, it forms a consistent upward trend, and in weight loss, it forms a consistent downward trend. You will have fluctuations and plateaus and crashes from time to time. That's normal, that's okay, don't freak out. When you see the scale go up one day or your progress stall for an entire week, don't freak out. Remember, it's long-term change that really counts. Keep focusing on those little daily habits and trust that time is on your side. Principle 2, focus on the big levers. In the world of finance, the biggest contributors to building wealth are increasing your income and reducing the amount of money you spend. Well, the same applies to weight loss, except here our big levers are diet quality, calorie intake, and exercise. Instead of getting lost in the tiny details like the newest fad diet, focus on the things that truly move the scale. These big levers are the true backbone of any successful weight loss plan. Actionable tips. So the first big lever, obviously, is diet. We want to prioritize nutrient-dense foods. Think color. Colorful vegetables and fruit. Plant-based proteins like beans and legumes and tofu if you don't have a soy allergy. Whole grains. This is the kind of food that is going to make a huge difference in both how you feel, but also how you look. Don't get locked into the idea that carbs are bad or unhealthy.
You need carbs. Your brain runs on glucose. For simple cognitive functions, you need them.
Do not eliminate carbs, but have a healthy version of that. So that includes things like whole grains, starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes or potatoes. Fat is not the enemy either, but we want healthy fats, things like avocados, nuts, seeds. But honestly, vegetables are the key, and you can eat as many as you like. It is impossible to overeat on non-starchy vegetables and fruit. Your body will just fill up, it won't let you. Now, the second most important lever is exercise. And I know what you're thinking. I don't like to exercise. I don't really think anyone likes to exercise. What people like to do is feel good. So find a way that you can move that you enjoy. And I'll be honest with you, it's hard to start this out, right? Like most people that are used to being stationary and not active, it's going to take a little while to get used to that. I am that person. But I'll tell you, now, when I wake up, if I don't do my workout first thing in the morning, I feel weird. And even on days where I don't want to do like resistance training or cardio training, which are like my main two focuses these days, I get out and go for at least a half an hour walk to start my day. And on some days, that's enough. Find a sport that you like. If you can do it with somebody else, that's ideal. YouTube is just littered with awesome workout videos where you can focus on what I think are the two most important things when it comes to weight loss, which is strength training, because muscle burns more calories than fat, and your cardio training, which is just really the thing that's gonna help you shed pounds fastest. Strength training helps you build lean muscle, which in turn will increase your resting metabolic rate, which is a complicated way of saying that you burn more calories by doing nothing. After you do the workout though, you have to do something to get the benefits of doing nothing. Does that make sense? And cardio obviously is kind of the thing that's gonna make you sweat the most. It's going to improve your heart health, but it's also gonna accelerate your fat loss because that's just how you burn calories the fastest. And together, the strength and the cardio is like this amazing 1-2 punch. And the third big lever that often gets overlooked is lifestyle. Most importantly is factors like stress and sleep. Chronic stress can lead to hormonal imbalances and stress eating, while poor sleep will disrupt your metabolism and your hunger cues. If you don't have a regular sleep schedule, your body doesn't know when it should be eating, which is what often causes people to snack late at night or have 4 to 5 meals a day. So while you're also building up your body, it's also really important to prioritize self-care and self-love. Practice mindfulness, schedule yourself some downtime, and set up a consistent bedtime routine. By adjusting some of these lifestyle elements, you are going to amp up your weight loss efforts. and protect your overall health. Now, for those of you who have been with this channel for a while, you know I've focused on all of these things during my 160 plus pound weight loss journey. And while a lot of this is to do with eating a whole food plant-based lifestyle, I would be remiss if I didn't say that my ability to sustain all of that wasn't necessarily due to a supplement, but a complement. And yes, that's the sponsor of today's video, Complement. They have got a whole line of products to make sure that your body gets everything you need, including Essential, which is a multivitamin designed specifically for plant-based diets, and everything that you need to complement that. And the real truth is, no matter what you eat, you could benefit from this multivitamin. But there's two products of theirs that I'm using to maximize my strength building efforts. The first one is creatine. What I like about the creatine is it amps up my cognitive ability, but it also just replenishes my energy stores when I need it. And yes, for those that are curious, it is a vegan creatine. Those things exist. The second product of theirs that I'm using for my muscle building is their protein powders. What I like about their protein powders is they are a clean 5-ingredient protein powder. And the ingredients are things that you actually know. They're not words that you can't pronounce. The best part about this company is just their ethics. Everything is third-party tested. Their packaging is biodegradable, and they are completely transparent about what they do. What's even better is that you can get 15% off if you use the discount code PB with either at the QR code that is on the screen or in the link that is in the description down below. When it comes to your health, stop supplementing and start complementing. All right, so for our next principle, we're gonna talk about all those big mistakes we make. Think about what causes financial ruin. It's usually either things like high-risk investments or crippling debt. The same things apply to weight loss. Anyone can experience what we would call like a blow-up. Another big problem is when you get into this all or nothing mentality. People that jump into like a crash diet or a high pressure exercise routine and they end up just quitting as quickly as they started. These big swings can ruin your weight loss progress in the same way that risky investments can ruin your finances. The first rule is moderation. Avoid anything that you can sustain long term. Yes, you might lose a lot of weight by doing any form of detox. And you might feel like you're making a ton of progress by working out 3 hours a day. But is that sustainable next month, 6 months from now? Probably not. Actually, probably not, very much not. It's not. Instead, aim for consistent, manageable steps. Things like making sure you're eating a whole food plant-based diet. Things like moderate exercise, balanced nutrition. That's how you create a lifestyle that works with you and not against you. Plan for setbacks. Even if you are the most dedicated person, life will happen. Setbacks will occur. Maybe it's your birthday and you eat more dessert than you thought you would. Maybe you go on vacation and you can't find all the healthier options that you would like for every meal. The key is just to bounce back as quickly as is possible as opposed to just abandoning it altogether. Think of it like a speed bump on a road. You slow down a little bit, you reassess, and then you keep along your journey. Assume you're going to have a setback at some time and know that that's okay and it's simply part of the progress so that it can reduce your stress and keep you focused on the long term. Principle 4, diversification and stoicism. When people invest their money, they diversify, spreading it across different bonds or stocks or even real estate to spread their money out so it's not all in one basket. When it comes to diversification in your health, think of it as like a balanced workout routine. So you're not just focusing on the same thing every single time, right? Obviously, start wherever you can, but you should be doing different workouts throughout the week so your body just stays fresh and doesn't stagnate, and you're also hitting different elements. It's good to have a nice mix of cardio, strength training, flexibility through things like yoga, but don't forget to do fun activities like, golf, dancing, pickleball. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing is more likely to make you do it. It also helps you avoid the trap of just doing one technique when it comes to food, right? Don't just eat the same meal every single time. Eat whole food plant-based, that's what I recommend, because It's nutritionally balanced, it's satiating, it's really diversified within it as well. But also, consider doing something like intermittent fasting as well, so you avoid eating late at night. I like to intermittent fast between the hours of 6:37 and 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not super strict about it, but it forces me to really think about eating after that time, and I very rarely do. Now let's talk about Stoicism. In finance, Stoicism means not losing your mind when the stocks start to dip a little bit. In weight loss, it means not losing your mind when the scale stops showing progress and you plateau for a little bit, or you maybe even go up a little bit. Fluctuations both in the financial market and in weight loss are normal. Don't freak out at every little fluctuation. Know that it is part of the process. Pay attention to it, and over time, if you need to, adjust. But don't just do it every single time there's a bit of a bump. Trust the process. Mix it up. Kind of like I already mentioned, make sure you have a variety of workouts that you do. Maybe one day you do resistance training with weights. Another day you're doing yoga. Another day you just go for a really, really long walk, especially if your muscles are tired and you need a break. This is going to keep your body both physically challenged, but it's also going to keep you from getting bored, which is really the most important thing and the reason why most people quit. You need to enjoy your workouts if you're going to stick with them. Emotional control. This is where Stoicism comes in. And I know it's hard when you look at that scale. I've been there and you see that number creep up, maybe even for a couple of days, and you feel like you're a failure and everything is lost. That is when you just really need to buckle down and know that you're okay. And that's something where this next principle is going to come in really handy. Principle 5, relationships and luck matter. Just like in a financial career where you've got mentors and other people giving you advice, the same occurs for weight loss. I mean, the fact that you're even watching this video means that you are out there looking for other people to help and inspire you. So take that to the next level. Find yourself like a supportive friend or family member who can be like a workout buddy, or at least someone to check in and make sure you're doing it. If you have the money to do so, potentially join a gym or get a trainer. Worst case, find an online community that can support you. And that's, like I mentioned earlier with our Mighty Network, that is a great resource where we talk about all these kind of things. We have a fitness section, we have a recipe section. And if you go in there and you tell somebody you're looking for an accountability partner just in the main thread, I promise you'll probably get a half a dozen or more people DM you saying, I'm here, I'll help you out. One of those might even be me. And then there's just luck and just being attuned to the universe as it sends you things to help you with your journey. Maybe a new gym opens up just up the street from you. That actually happened to me when I started this workout routine and I started losing my weight. A new gym opened up and I joined it for a year or two to get me kind of going. Maybe YouTube recommends a new type of video for you based on other videos you've been watching. Maybe you stumble upon a new healthy plant-based cookbook that is available both as an ebook, and if you email me here, you can get on the list for our second printing of more hard copies. I'm just saying, that's some luck that you could come across. You gotta let me do my blatant plug of my book every now and then. I love it so much, and I want you to have it. Anyway, getting back to it, it's still luck. Generally speaking, just be open and ready to seize opportunities. Like I just mentioned, find your tribe, find your people. Find people who are gonna lift you up and support you, not people who are gonna question why you're doing it or how you're doing it. People that will not yuck your yum. And yes, this water bottle is available for you to have to remind you of this phrase. I'll put a link in the description down below where you can get this water bottle. And when it comes to your luck, again, just really be open to what the universe is offering. Look for things in your community. Look for, hiking groups, exercise groups, local running clubs, sports teams. If you live in an area that has like a local gym, dodgeball maybe, I don't know, pickleball courts, whatever it is, just be open to what is around you and start searching for it. And the right thing might just come into your path organically. And the final principle, number 6, is your greatest asset of you. In Scott's book, he reminds us that you are the most valuable investment in your financial story. And I would agree that you are the most valuable resource in your weight loss story. But that only happens when you prioritize your physical and mental well-being. No fancy workout equipment or secret diet is going to replace what's going on up here. I've said it before on this channel. I lost weight because I changed the way I moved, I changed the way I ate, but the most important thing is I changed the way I think. And until that is solidified in you, nothing else is possible. But once it is, nothing else can stop you. That means setting up a regular sleep schedule for yourself. It means practicing mindfulness if stress is part of your life. Consider therapy if you are struggling with eating disorders or any other mental challenges. Take care of your mind so you can be ready for any other challenges that come your way on this journey. Skill building. Invest in the skills that are going to help you support your goals. So that is things like basic cooking. If you're on this channel, you're probably already on that journey. Most of our videos are centered around how to make whole food plant-based meals in simple ways. Put some effort into learning nutrition fundamentals in terms of like what the value of food is in terms of your caloric intake. Invest in learning new workout routines or exercises or sports. That might mean a physical investment in some equipment, but it also might just be your time in looking for videos on YouTube. It's great to be inspired by people like me or other people here on YouTube, but the sooner you can become self-reliant, the more successful you will be. And now that we've gotten to the end of the principles, I would like to share some of my favorite quotes from this book that I jotted down along the way. Don't mind me as I read off my screen. Happiness isn't having what you want, but wanting what you have. We've said this on the channel before. If you're not happy with yourself before you lose weight, you're never going to be happy with yourself after you lose weight. Again, that goes into the mental stuff, right? You have to just acknowledge where you're at, and if you need additional help for that, seek that out. Wealth is when your passive income is greater than your burn rate. So that would be, when the calories you exude, that's the word I'm looking for, are greater than the calories you bring in, which is why exercise matters, as well as reducing your caloric intake just by eating healthier foods. Not by eating less necessarily. You can be a volume eater and eat whole food plant-based because the food you're eating will be lower calories. As long as you're not like eating ridiculous amounts of fat and starches. Eat a balance.
You need carbs.
If money is the only goal, you will never have enough. I love that one a lot, and I think that's true of weight loss. If just losing the weight is enough, you will never lose enough weight. And I went through that myself because I got to a point where I lost way too much weight. And I've talked about that here on the channel before, because for me, losing pounds just became like a game, and the more I could lose, the better. And eventually I realized I went too far. So, be careful when it comes to that, and know that being healthy is the goal. Losing weight shouldn't be the goal. Being healthy should be the goal. Because then you just lose weight naturally by being healthy, right? The two go together. Get plenty of exercise. It's the single most effective thing you can do to increase your quality of life. Don't need to explain that one. The most successful people generate a ton of value through their community and give even more back. As I've mentioned before, build a tribe. Talk to us down in the comments down below. Join other message groups. Join our Mighty Network. Join other plant-based groups, whatever you want. You don't have to join ours. If you're already in one, that's awesome. Tip well, be kind and generous to others. Share your knowledge, right? If you learn things along the way, don't force it down people's throats if they're not into it, but, share what you know. And this comes in with the next one too. Normalize talking about money. Normalize talking about health. A lot of people don't, right? We're shameful about our weight or about our health challenges or whatever it is. If we talk about it, we don't need to be. It's hard at first. I know that. I've been there. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you become, because it's just part of your life. It's part of your story. It's not your whole thing. You know what I mean? Balance. You can have it all, just not all at once. How does that relate? I just like that quote, but how does it relate to this? I think it's just that idea that it's like, there's going to be times when you're doing stuff that you don't always like. You're doing workouts you don't always love, but it's going to help result in better things down the line, right? It's like the idea of like, suck it up and eat your vegetables. I've said on the channel before for people that are like, I don't like the taste of water. Suck it up, be a grown-up and drink water. I think of it that way, is that over time, all good things will come out, but there might be things you don't always love. You have to put in the time. Accepting the role of work is easier if you enjoy it. I think that is just good advice in general for anything in life. Is like, you have to know that This is work, and it's going to take some effort, and that's okay. Find a way to enjoy it. Create a YouTube channel, like I did. Focus on saying no and don't feel badly about it. That could be anything. That could be if someone brings over a dessert and you're trying to eat healthier. It's okay to say no to somebody. You don't have to do it in a way that necessarily is rude. You can just explain where you're at and what's going on and appreciate the fact that they did something nice for you. It's okay to say no to things that are going to lead you to making bad, unhealthy choices. Success is the best thing. Failing fast is the next best thing. This is true. We've all probably been on those, moments and times where we have, tried a fad diet and didn't work and it crashed out. I like that. I like failing fast and then pivoting, right? Whether you need to, you're trying something and it doesn't work, quitting isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Especially if you look at it like pivoting. That's how I look at quitting and failure. I just need to try something else. Focus is not about what to do, but what not to do. I think that's the way to look at the way you eat if you want to go whole food, plant-based particularly. It's not about thinking of all the things you don't eat anymore, but thinking of all the things you do, right? And last but not least, every dollar is a choice. You could think of that as every calorie is a choice, right? Every time you step up to the plate, or literally the plate, the food plate, not the baseball plate, you're making a choice for your body by eating clean, nutritious, delicious food. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember that losing weight is a marathon, not a sprint. Just like building wealth. It doesn't happen overnight unless you get extremely lucky. But if you have a consistent strategic plan, everything works out over time. And if you're looking for something to complement your weight loss, don't forget to use our link in the description down below and our discount code to get 15% off of their products. If you're looking for a recipe book full of whole food, plant-based, delicious ingredients, here you go, right here, family approved. There's the light, that's better for me. And if any of these tips resonated with you, please let us know in the comments down below. Hit that like button so YouTube knows to share this with other people. Subscribe for more videos like this, and stick around because YouTube wants you to watch this video next. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna bet it's gonna help you along your journey. So give it a shot.